There's never a dull moment in Pakistan cricket when you have the PCB running the show. Now it's beyond embarrassing to say the least. The news of white ball coach Gary Kirsten resigning just before the tour of Australia is just shameful. I know it's been a while since I made a video with Sidra Silly Points. As some of you may know, the domestic season was wrapping up in Canada, and I had the privilege to be involved at the grassroots level and host University and College Cricket National Championship, Champions Cricket Open for the Alberta Cricket League, and high performance matches between Canada, Oman, and Nepal. There's clearly no lack of young talent in Canada. Head over to my Instagram page if you're interested in hearing from some of these players I interviewed. The link I'll provide in the description. It was only a few days ago where it seemed like the PCB was starting to grasp the basics of creating pitches to suit one's skills and strengths, but it didn't take long for the status quo of humiliation and destruction of cricket to be restored in Pakistan. The need to hire international coaches without having to come to terms with them. I mean, Pakistan didn't even get a chance to play a single ODI under Gary. They were close, so close, just days away from the Australian tour. Gary Kirsten has a huge resume being a World Cup winning coach for India, working with IPL teams and Australian T20 teams, amongst others. I guess none of that really matters when you're working with the PCB. We may or may not hear from Gary, but questions remain as to whether it was the lack of input in team selection or captain selection or playing the role of puppet. We heard Jason Gillespie saying he's a match day strategist during the English tour of Pakistan, probably having no say in selection. All of this is evident of the uneasiness, the lack of cooperation and understanding, and clear disharmony between the coaches and the cricket board. And this news is a day after the PCB blasted the media with squads announced for the Australia and Zimbabwe tours. Then Rizwan as white ball captain and the central contract list, which would blow everyone's minds. While folks were still trying to make sense of these announcements, we were thrown another curveball of Kirsten resigning just days before the Australian tour. If we want to make sense of the central contract list, which we cannot, but let's say we try to, then one thing is clear. Being in form and performing does not matter to the PCB, no matter the format, the tour, the tournament, or the venue in discussion. You can be in form like South Shakil, who faced 220 balls, making 134 odd runs, took Pakistan out of the gutter and into winning the series in the third test against England, but you will be given a Category C contract next to the likes of Abrar Ahmed, who we have yet to see do anything, and the amazing run machine Haris Rauf with no form, no line and length control. Oh, but Haris Rauf, please also go to Australia and Zimbabwe and represent the run machine you are in both ODIs and T20 format. And Salman Ali Agha, we know you've been consistently playing with the tail enders and not making a fuss, but hey, we think you should be in the same category as Shadab Khan, way behind Naseem Shah and Shaheen Shah Afridi, because your consistency doesn't matter. Oh, and don't worry about the fact that Noman and Sajid single-handedly led Pakistan to winning test matches after 3 years of continuous losses and droughts at home. We will give you Category C contracts. And also, Noman, we know you bowled for 4 innings straight and also batted facing 80-something balls for your 45 in the third test, but I don't think you're fit. So we're not sure if you qualify for Category C central contract. Oh, and remember how we said we would have the Champions Cup with a whole list of mentors who will each have a set of players, like they'll work with them and they'll give input, and this tournament will then help with the team selection and future tour selection for Champions Trophy? Well, no, we lied. We just did that for fun. And now we're selecting whomever we want for fun, because remember, it's all fun and games at the end of the day for the PCB. Usman Khan has the most runs in the Champions Cup, but we'll grant him Category D contract. Oh, and icing on the cake is we will not include him in the ODI squads for Australia and Zimbabwe. Instead, we'll put him in the T20 team. Kamran Ghulam was the second highest run scorer in the Champions Cup and scored 100 on debut on a turning wicket against England with so much pressure, but we'll give you Category D with players like Muhammad Ali, Irfan Khan, and Hurera, who have yet to be part of the national side. Shan Masood has been the scapegoat for all Pakistan cricket problems, and anyone can criticize him live on air, has been awarded Category D, subject to whether he will retain captaincy. I have a feeling we won't see him touring South Africa and beyond as captain. No contract of any sort for Jahandad, Hasnain, or Akif Jabeid, who all were high performers in the Champions Cup. And we're not even talking about domestic records here. Fakhr was not retained due to an apparent fitness issue and of course a tweed. So we can play players that supposedly didn't pass the fitness test and then they will win us test matches. But Fakhr, you aren't fit, so you can't be retained, so no contract for you. Is it convenient for PCB to use Fakhr to set as an example? Is this another loss like Muhammad Amir? What a circus this is. The joy of winning the test series against England was short-lived, but the pain of being a Pakistani cricket fan is forever. But we hope, so I hope, I'll see you in my next video. Until then, take care.